and welcome back to my channel. Today, do I have lipstick on my teeth? Okay, just deal with it. Today I'm gonna bring you my October TBR. I've got a few things that I'm trying to catch up on in series that I started back in September, but I've also got some like creepy mystery thrillers throw in just for the spook factor of Halloween coming up. I mean, come on guys, why not? So without further ado, let's just get started. Okay, so the first two that I want to get into October is a continuation of A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury, book number 3. Because I've already read the first two. If you watch my September wrap-up, you'll see how I think of those ones. But for the month of October, I wanted to continue with the series, so I have A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas, and a continuation of book number 3 through the Court of Thorns and whatever. I don't know, like people are like, it's Akatar and Akawar and math or something. They've got acronyms for everything, but I'm sorry, I'm like almost 40, and I'm like, just call it how it is. Court of Wings and Ruin, people. Anyways, I'm excited to get back into Feyre's characters, or her character, and then I've called, of course, Tamlin and Rhysand, and just like, or Rhysand, sorry, Rhysand, and continue with their political divide and just craziness that ensues with fantastical elements, and I can't talk today, but just deal with it. I'm excited to get into this. And of course, there's a novella that was just put out, I think a couple months ago. It is brand spanking new, called A Court of Frost and Starlight. I'm a little hesitant to go into this one after I'm done with the book number 3, just because a lot of people are like, I think this was a moneymaker. I don't see why she wrote this one. It's just like a filler, didn't really need to happen. And so people are like, meh, it's like either they loved it or they hated it or they didn't want to, don't understand it. So I'm a little hesitant, but I'm so engrossed and I am so obsessed with these characters and the whole political court system in this fairy land that they've got going on that I'm like, I have to read it. I have to. I'm obsessed, people. I'm obsessed. Okay, so if you watched my September wrap-up, you'll know that I dived into this middle grade novel called Witherwood Reform School by Obert Sky. So of course I have to continue on with book 2 in the series for the month of October. This is called Lost and Found, Witherwood Reform School by Obert Sky. Now the book before, book number 1, I rated it about a 3.5. It was a really good book. There's just a lot of unanswered questions throughout the whole thing. Like I was left hanging with so many more questions. It was ridiculous. So I'm really hoping that book 2 will pick up the pace and explain things a little bit more in detail on why they are the way they are and where things are coming from. And I just need answers, people. Answers. And my 4th grader, he's a little confused too. We need to know what is happening with these 2 kids. Tell us. Okay, so the next book that I want to pick up into October, I want to start like really diving into like your thrillers and kind of your creepy vibe kind of books. What's crazy is I have no actual like horror novels. I really need to get into like Stephen King. I have never read an actual Stephen King book. I am such a bad book person. What's crazy is when I was younger, like in middle school and high school, that's all I could read. All I could read was horror books. I was like, R.L. Stine Fear Street and Christopher Pike were like my 2 favorite, without fail, I would grab from the library and go read it. Like I loved all things scary. And then suddenly into adulthood, I kind of like got away from it, but I still love it. So I don't know why, I just don't go find more horror novels. I'm weird. I don't know. If anyone's got any like really good horror book suggestions, please let me know in the comments below, because I would love to know some really good like horror books. Not like creepy thrillers, horror. Like give me ghosts and poltergeists and like creepy weird witch shit. I will be all over that like white on rice. So let me know. Anyways, on my TBR, I have had this book for a couple of years now, and it's called The Sacred Lies of Minnow Bly. Now, this is about a young girl who is stuck in a cult as she grows up. She finally is able to leave or escape somehow, but she has no hands. They have cut off her hands. Was she born with no hands? I think they cut off her hands. Anyways, sounds super creepy, and it's her like telling the story, I think, to the police officers of what she's gone through. Now, I probably would not have picked this up for October either, and it's probably would have just sat on my shelf forever. But I heard they're making a series out of this. I don't know if it's like on HBO or Netflix or something, but they are coming out with a series or a movie on this. And so I'm like, well, shit, I better pick this up and read it. And it just sounds really good and creepy and perfect for October. Anyways, this is by Stephanie Oakes. Never read a book by her before. Hopefully it's good. We'll see. Next book that I'm going to pick up for October is a thriller called The Cellar, and this is by Natasha Preston. She also has a few other books, which is called, like, one is called The Cabin, and I just picked that up. I will have it in my book haul soon. But The Cellar is about a young girl who is taken, and she is stuck in a cellar with this man, and there's a couple other girls there. And he renames these girls like flowers, like Lily, Rose, Violet, Poppy, whatever it is. And it's a story about these girls in this cellar. Do they escape? I don't know. Is this guy completely insane, or does he build a family and they start having, like, what is that disease where, like, Stockholm syndrome or whatever it is, where they start to actually care for the person that's kidnapped them? I don't know. The less I know, the better when it comes to thrillers. So I'm excited to get into this one. We'll see how it goes. All right, my last October TBR is The Never List by Kofi Zan, and I'm probably butchering that first name. It might even be Zane. Zane. I might be butchering the last name. So sorry, but this one sounds fantastic, and I've also had this on my shelf forever. Okay, so the premises of this is there are two girls who are best friends, and they have made a never list, a list of things that they should never do. But lo and behold, one night they go against one of their never list plans, get into a cab, and they go missing. Supposedly this guy completely kidnaps them, and they're like in a dungeon type of thing, and that's all I need to know because it's a thriller, and the less I know the better. But this one sounds super creepy, and I can't wait to get into it. If anyone has read this, let me know, but please don't, like, spoil anything for me, or I'll have to cut you. I mean, that's just like, it's just how it is when you read books. You don't spoil it for people unless they want to. But I've never really heard of anyone else reading this, and I can't wait to get into it because it actually sounds pretty dang good. All right, guys, that is my October TBR, and I'm sure as the month goes on, I will throw in some other ones that I'm just feeling that I need to read or want to read, or maybe it just piques my interest and I'm like, you know what, the hell with it, I'm gonna read it. So anyways, without further ado, thank you so much for joining me for my October TBR. I'm so glad you guys are here. Please like and subscribe down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.